All right, guys, today is the day, the D-Day for the CS2 markets, the day of reckoning, the day that the market crash was going to get real, as if a 50% market drop that we saw, down from 6 billion market cap to 3 billion market cap was not already real enough. There were so many people saying that things were going to go even lower today, that the amount of gold hitting the market, you were a fool if you didn't think we were going even lower. But obviously that has seemingly not happened. You can see right now we are sitting at a $4.2 billion market cap. Currently, I'm recording this in the middle of the day on October 30th. So I woke up early for this market crash to get ready, to be ready to go, and a whole lot of nothing happened. We've gone pretty sideways, if not even a little bit up today. So I don't know. A lot of people were wrong. So now we need to regroup. We need to rethink what the heck happens from here. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. But of course, as always, just want to mention my Twitch stream. We've been streaming every single day, for this whole kind of this whole drama and craziness and everything that's been happening over the last week or so in the CS markets over at twitch.tv/I_am_Germ. We're getting close to 3,000 followers. We have getting close to 50 subs. It's been insane. Streams have been a ton of fun. We're doing trade ups. We're having guests come in. We had Brongo on the stream today doing trade ups. We had Zipple in the chat giving his thoughts on the markets. The streams have been insane. You're missing out if you're not checking them out. So drop a follow. I'm going to have it on the pinned comment of this video. And my cash trading business, of course, as always, if you're looking to sell any of your CS2 skins for cold hard cash, crypto, PayPal, whatever, hit me up and we can get a big deal done today. With that being said, let's get right into this video. Again, $4.2 billion market cap. We are up a little bit today, if anything. Last couple days, we've been sitting right around this $4 billion mark. We went down to 3. We kind of bounced back up. We've been at like 3.8, 3.9, 4, 4.1, 4.2, whatever. But we also can look at this Steam DT website, which is pretty interesting, tracking some of the Chinese prices and stuff like that. Right now, we're saying overall, we have about a 1% up day overall in the CS2 markets. And you can actually break it down by the individual item class and stuff like that, and seeing that even golds, are up today. Knives are up about 2%. Gloves are up, about 1%. Because obviously, there's other stuff in the markets. And just because the market's up doesn't necessarily mean that golds aren't crashing or golds aren't down or whatever, but even golds so far today look like they're having an okay day. And again, yeah, is a 2% up day or a 0.8% up move for golds that insane at the end of the day? No, but it's not a crash. People weren't predicting a small up. People weren't predicting a sideways. People were predicting a crash. And there's a ton of people that are looking pretty silly right now because people were so confident. People were saying, get ready. People were saying, you are stupid if you are buying before October 30th. People are saying, you are stupid if you do not think we are going to have a second leg down. They're like, hey, haven't you guys ever heard of a dead cat bounce before? And yeah, I did entertain the possibility of things dropping lower, but ultimately at the end of the day, my thoughts and opinions were that it's possible we could see a small dip, but I did think any small dips were going to be bought up very, very aggressively, because when you pay attention to the people in the markets, there are people with big money. They were out there saying, if there is a dip, I am going to buy the shit out of it. And I don't really know how much selling or anything we saw, but also the amount of golds that we have seen crafted so far, especially the ones becoming available today and hitting the markets today, is just not enough. Now, the question starts to become, what is going to happen from here? And I do think that is pretty interesting, because we are seeing some stuff hitting the markets. And over the next couple of days, you got to understand that we're going to see more and more stuff unlocking. We're going to see more and more people taking advantage of just how profitable these gold trade-ups are. So the future could definitely be different. But at least today, we did not get that market crash. And yeah, I tweeted out this. Obviously, I'm a shit starter. I got to, poke the bear a little bit, make fun of some people, whatever. But I said, so is everyone going to delete their market will crash today tweets, or just pretend that they didn't say that, or what? Because again, there's tons of people in my YouTube comments. You can go back to those videos. There's tons of people on my tweets that's still out there. Ton of people on Discord, Reddit, whatever, that were saying that the 30th we were going to see some kind of market crash. And again, that is not what we have seen, at least so far today. Hey, it's only 2:30. We still got time for the rest of the day. But I know that I was buying the dip throughout the past week. Again, the very day the update dropped, I bought the dip. The next couple of days, I still bought the dip. Now, hey, a lot of those trades ended up getting reversed, so I kind of got screwed over there. But some of those trades didn't get reversed, and some of the stuff I even bought on Steam Market, and I was able to start selling off of some of that stuff today for a profit. It was very, very profitable to be buying this dip. Once again, it seems like we had panic sellers, we had paper hands, we had people FOMOing, in the opposite direction, people overreacting to an update. CS2 is not dead. CS2 investing is not dead. Golds are not going to zero. Knives, gamma emeralds, butterfly emeralds are not going to be worth $100. There's still going to be very, very expensive golds out there. The fundamentals change, things change, but guess what? CS2 investing is not dead. CS2 is not dead. We're going to go back to all-time highs eventually. It's going to be, with different items at different prices and different things driving the market and stuff like that. But there are still opportunities out here, and things are okay. And again, we are not going to go lower, at least in the short term, than what we saw a couple of days ago, because that was max fear. That was max panic. You see people, paper-handed selling and then trade reversing less than 24 hours later. It's been absolutely insane. There's obviously a ton of just craziness going on with that. But like I said, we are seeing some impacts of this whole situation, because we saw something like this, something pretty crazy. A new pair, I don't know why it's not letting me scroll up, but a new pair of factory new Pandoras has hit the market. And I know in those screenshots going around, we are seeing that there was actually a new pair of Pandora's Box in factory new crafted. Again, these are listed for $43,000. They're $70,000 on Buff163. But what's interesting is that these on float, these ones were not actually crafted. These were unboxed. They were unboxed about like 10 or 11 days ago, I think, and they just got listed on float randomly today, probably because they were worried about the market crashing or whatever. There was, again, that one pair that's been crafted, but I don't even think those are tradable or marketable just yet. So maybe there'll be even another pair hitting the market soon. And like I said, yes, there is fundamentals changing for a lot of things, and it is very, very possible we see prices drop, especially from where they used to be, and it's going to take a little while. And golds, I don't even think they were that great of an investment to begin with, so I don't want to say they were going to become a worse investment, but golds were never something that I recommended holding for the long term, and that's why this update really, at the end of the day, is not going to hurt me that bad, because I was not holding any golds in my portfolio, my investment portfolio, for the long term. Golds were not that great of an investment before. I think they're an even worse investment now, but that doesn't mean there weren't short-term buying the dip opportunities as people were panicking. But again, if you're looking to load up on stuff for a long-term investment, golds are definitely not where I would necessarily be looking. I think, some of the things you could look to take advantage of in the market right now is trade-up skins, because trade-ups are super, super hot. I think cases are still really undervalued right now, and buying the dip on cases is always going to be attractive. Different things like that. And also just taking advantage of the trade-ups. If you can find some trade-ups with really insane profitability, you might want to look there too. But yes, we did see a new pair of Pandora's factory new hitting the market, which is always pretty crazy, because obviously those are very, very rare gloves. Thought this was hilarious as well. Zerpus, he says, November 29th, 2025, 30 days from the trade reverse incidents, markets will dip the most we've ever seen since TS2 came out. Be ready, prepare yourself for the biggest doom in this market. So again, hey, today wasn't the reckoning, but now a bunch of trades are being reversed, and now maybe we're going to see, a big reckoning a month from now. And then there was a reply to this tweet as well. It's like, oh, well, if we're going to see a big reckoning that day, then 30 days from there, when those trade reversers get banned, we're going to see another, huge market crash or whatever. So it's now, turning into a meme. We're just kind of rolling with it. It's like this endless loop, which is pretty funny. Price Empire tweeted out this as well. D-Day's officially canceled. The 24-hour trend just flipped green. Again, we're seeing, we saw a very, very small dip at one point, got bought up. We're seeing the markets go green. Things are up today. Market crash is canceled. Skins being unaffordable again. And that's what's super funny too. People were like, oh, Valve wants to make golds affordable. Valve wants everyone to have, the craziest knife. Valve wants everyone to have a Karambit Emerald, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, some stuff went from 20K to 15K or 20K to 12K or whatever. Like, guess what? Stuff is still unaffordable. Stuff is still insanely expensive. Prices maybe dropped a little bit, but did Valve want to push, some of these items back onto the Steam market? Did Valve want to make you, have to use the Steam market for certain things? Yeah, but also maybe Valve just thought, hey, it would be cool or interesting or a good change to have, gold trade-ups be a thing, and maybe that'll affect the markets in some positive ways. Again, there were a lot of coverts that, were kind of just sitting dead and useless, and now there's a use for them. And guess what? People love these gold trade-ups. They're super fun to watch. They're super fun to do. People love getting golds. And if you can't get, if Valve is kind of phasing out the future of cases and stuff like that, they need a new way to implement golds and, all this exciting different stuff to the market. And maybe, trading up to golds is a way to do that. But, stuff is kind of going right back up. And yeah, we did see a 50% drop, but now we're only sitting at like a 33% drop in the market. And guess what? If stuff was unaffordable before for the average player, or poor Timmy couldn't get a Karambit Emerald, he's still not going to be able to get one now when they're $13,000, $14,000, $15,000, even though they're not $20,000 anymore. Neil tweeted this out as well. China's market shows a 12% rise today, with the knife index going up 20%. That's the numbers that we were seeing this morning, but then as the day went on, I don't necessarily think that prices went down. I just think the 24-hour period that they were comparing it to kind of started to change, because we saw some dips yesterday, which again, was also something that I had predicted because I didn't think a lot of people were going to be buying yesterday, because if people thought there was going to be a big dip today, a lot of people were saving up their funds. And if you were going to make a purchase, you were going to do it today rather than yesterday. So I don't think there was a lot of buying pressure yesterday, which kind of caused prices to drop and drop and drop. And then finally today, we started to see a little bit of a rebound. So the numbers looked a little crazy at the beginning, but I don't think today was like a huge upward day in the market, but still a small upward day, which is way, way, way different than the crash. Again, Coco says the market crash is happening. Again, he flipped the graph upside down. So when things start to go up a little bit, hey, we are getting a little bit of that market crash. But still, again, it is insane. And this is something to watch out going forward in the future, that something still needs to change with these trade up ROIs. Because again, we were already seeing before today these trade up ROIs being absolutely insane. These trade up ROIs being insanely profitable, way too profitable. Again, people are willing to do trade ups at 60 to 70% profitability. And this was before gold were even a thing. Now that gold are a thing, people are going to be willing to do some stupid stuff. But let alone the fact that you can do insanely profitable things. Neon tweeted this out, and these numbers I don't even think tell the full story, but he has, Chroma trade-ups being 167% profitable in the West, OG Knives being 141% profitable in the West, Dreams and Nightmares being 183% profitable in the West, and Raffle Monster says it gets even crazier because he's like, if you take into account China input cost, and that you can sell on the Western markets, and you use stuff like Gamma and Spectrum, these ROIs get even more insane. And again, there are some trade-ups out there that we're seeing for 200% plus ROIs, which still means a couple of things. Either gold prices need to come down, covert prices need to go up, or a combination of the both. So I think we're still going to see some really, really insane stuff in the markets. I think buying up coverts, buying up some of those trade up filler skins that even chain up to coverts is an interesting opportunity in the markets right now. I still am wary about golds for the future, because I think over time gold prices still need to drop a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be as fast or as crazy as what we saw previously. And I still don't know if we're going to break those lows that we saw. But yeah, there are golds being printed right now. There's going to be a ton of them hitting the market in a couple of days. But then also going forward in the future, there's always going to be new golds created. Just how, the fundamentals of coverts didn't used to be that good. There would always be new coverts created and you couldn't get rid of them. Now there's always going to be being new golds created and you can't get rid of them. But now the fundamentals of the coverts get way better than ever before. And yeah, the prices have skyrocketed. But when the ROIs and the profitability are this good, people are going to be eating into these supplies. So it's a very, very interesting time in the CS2 markets. Yes, we did not get the insane market crash that people were maybe looking for today. But there still could be, some dips and some market movements over time. Who knows? We could be going lower. I don't really know. You need to be prepared for all outcomes. But still, the places I'm going to be focusing on the market right now: trade up fillers, cases, stuff with good fundamentals, stuff that I think has a good long-term potential in future. I think it could be okay in the short term as well, but I'm not making too many short-term gambles and stuff like that. I want to buy and hold, and I want to take advantage of the, the opportunities that I see in the market. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with all of this. But the CS2 Day of Reckoning, D-Day, the biggest market crash in CS history, whatever, it didn't happen today. We were a little bit disappointed, a little bit let down, and some people were left looking pretty silly. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then.